G'day Gear Junkies, Jason here. A few months back I bought a guitar that I've wanted to own for a very long time, which is a Danelectro 59 double cutaway. This is one from the late 90s and it's definitely showing some signs of wear and tear. But the thing I need to know is, should I keep or sell? But before I begin, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe. And if you want to help this channel out, you can go to the Middle Age Gear Junkie store and buy some merchandise, which really helps me to buy the gear that I need to make these videos. So I picked this guitar up on Marketplace for about 400 Aussie bucks, which is about 250 American dollars. It's a cool burgundy color. If you know your Danelectro products, around the same time in the mid-90s when they re-released this guitar, they brought out some pedals. One of them was called the Fab Tone, which was this same color. In the late 90s, I was in a band, and the other guitarist in the band had one of these guitars. He had a black one. And he went overseas for a while and he left his Danelectro guitar with me for about 6 weeks. And I grew to really like it. I didn't think I would, but I actually really enjoyed playing this thing. It brought out a different side of my playing. And it's basically since then that I've decided that I wanted to own one day. As a guitar, this thing just breaks all the rules. So it laughs in the face of things like tone wood. I mean, this thing's made out of masonite, which is like a cheap wood substitute. It's semi-hollow, which means it's incredibly light. The nut here, that's made out of metal. It's not made out of plastic or bone or anything like that. And the pickups, so it uses these lipstick pickups, so named because they actually use lipstick casings to encase the magnet. And it only has one magnet. So on a normal single coil, you'll have 6 pole pieces of magnet which are wrapped in copper wire. This has just one long magnet and it's wrapped in copper wire, dipped in wax, and then put inside this casing. So the lipstick pickups here, in comparison to say a Strat, I think are even brighter. They have a lot of top-end chime to them, which gives them a lot of clarity. They don't have a lot of mid-range, and they do have some bass content, but it's not particularly well-rounded. So some people like to use these for surf rock. To be honest, I don't like this guitar very much on a clean tone. I just think it sounds a little bit plinky. Now, because you get more clarity with these pickups, which I just mentioned, and also the pickups themselves are not as focused because they don't have the individual pole pieces, that makes these guitars great for things like open tunings and alternate tunings. In fact, Jimmy Page wrote the song Kashmir and performed it on one of these guitars. So I'm playing through my Fender Deluxe Reverb, so any drive sounds you hear is coming from the Past Effects Canberra drive. Now the reason I chose this is because it has really beautifully voiced bottom end. So I use this all the time with my Telecaster. My Telecaster doesn't have a huge amount of bottom end, and this helps to sort of compensate for that while still being a very responsive overdrive, and it has, you know, really, it's not mid-range in like a tube screamer, but it's certainly got a lot of definition about it. And I've found that it works just as well with the Dano here as it does with my Telecaster. Another thing about the lipstick pickups here is that they're very, very low output. So Les Paul, for example, a current day one, the output is 12 to 14K. A Telecaster, the average output on the bridge pickup is about 6K. With these, it's only about 3. So it's about a quarter of the strength or a quarter of the output of a humbucker and about half that of a Telecaster single coil. I actually really love these pickups because they have a character all of their own that doesn't sound like any other guitar that I currently have. Now, being an older model, it actually has a rosewood fingerboard. They don't make them with rosewood anymore because it's endangered. So these guitars usually come with dual concentric pots for volume and tone. So you get 2 tones and 2 volumes stacked on top of each other. But I think this one's been modified because I've got a single volume and tone knob, and it's a Stratocaster style knob on there. And I'm thinking if I can find the parts, I wouldn't mind changing that back to original spec. Another thing that's a little bit different about this is it's missing the vinyl tape that goes right around the guitar. You can see where it used to be. There's some lines there, but yeah, I like that. I like that vinyl tape look on these things. So it just makes them look a little bit classier. It reminds me of sort of like white wall tires or something like that. I have 2 main criticisms of this guitar. One, it doesn't stay in tune particularly well. And number 2 is the bridge. Now this has the original bridge, which is this sort of floating piece of metal here with a piece of rosewood there. And the problem with it is that you can't individually intonate each string. So Jimmy Page, who used to use one of these, he had a custom bridge fitted on his, and today I don't think they even really make them like this anymore. They use the individual saddle versions. So I'd like to know what you guys think. Should I keep or sell this guitar? Now, if I do decide to keep it, I would want to restore these to the original volume and tone pots, but at the moment I haven't been able to find any online. So if you know where I can get a hold of some, please leave me a link below and I'll check that out. And also, if you know where I can buy the vinyl tape that they use on these guitars, I'd like to get some of that as well. Interesting thing about these guitars is that I don't know anybody who has one as their number one. Plenty of guys use these or have used these on recordings or for particular songs or tunings, but it's kind of like an alternate guitar, and I'm happy to keep it as that for recordings and trying it from time to time as something a little bit different. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and you can support this channel by going to the Middle Aged Gear Junkie store and buying some merchandise. You can also join the Middle Aged Gear Junkie Facebook page. Other than that, my name is Jason. Have a good day. See you later.